Welcome back. In this lecture, we will go through late binding and early binding. The compiler must bind the name of the method to the final implementation of the method. If a method is bound at compile time, it is called static or early binding. On overloading methods, the compiler will resolve the method and its code at compile time. Because of static binding mechanism, overload methods are bound at compile time. Static methods, final methods, and private methods are also bound early at compile time, since they have only one implementation and cannot be overridden. If a method resolved at runtime, it is called dynamic or late binding. In Java, all methods except static methods, final methods, and private methods are bound dynamically at the runtime. With late binding mechanism, the Java virtual machine binds appropriate method to execute when a subclass is assigned to its parent form. This is necessary because the subclass may override some or all of the methods defined in the parent class. Also, static binding uses type of class to bind, while dynamic binding uses type of object, as the resolution happens only at runtime because object only created during runtime. Dynamic binding is slightly slower than static binding. Go to code and see. We will add a new class that extends the payment class. Our new payment type will be Bitcoin that extends payment class. Go to source package, press Alt Insert and select Java class, and in the name field type Bitcoin. Press enter, and here we need to add extends keyword, extends payment. So we have a new payment type. Now we will make some changes on the payment class and the Bitcoin class. We are going to payment class first. And here we will add a new method to the payment class that prints the installment amount. This method takes the amount of total payment in double type. So here we add our new method, public void print installment, and it takes double argument, double total amount. Okay, and inside the method body we divide total amount by 3 to find the installment amount. System out print ln payment class installment amount is plus operator, amount in double, and plus total amount divided by 3. Okay, now we will go to Bitcoin class, and here we will override the pay method first and then customize to Bitcoin. Okay, press Alt Insert and select override methods, and select pay method, and here change the method logic. System out println Bitcoin class Bitcoin class payment by Bitcoin completed. Okay. Now we will add an overload method of print installment in the Bitcoin class. This overload method takes total amount in integer form. Please note that this is not override, overload. Okay. Public void print installment. This is not override because I am changing this type to integer. So we have same method name with different parameters. So this means overload. And inside method body, we will divide total amount by 5 to find installment amount. Okay. System out println Bitcoin class installment in integer, and plus operator is total amount divided by 5. Okay. To test early binding and late binding, we will add a new test class that is test late binding early binding class. Alt insert, select Java class, add test late binding early binding, and press enter. Add a main method, and now we will create a new object of Bitcoin and assign it to payment reference. So payment reference Bitcoin is equal to new Bitcoin. Okay. Now we will invoke the pay method. Since we overrode the pay method in the Bitcoin class, although the reference type is payment, calling the pay method in the Bitcoin object will invoke the pay method implementation in Bitcoin. This is decided at runtime due to the late binding mechanism, according to the object type, not according to the reference class type. Since our reference type is Bitcoin here, but our object type is, our reference type is payment here, but our object type is Bitcoin. So this is decided at runtime because of late binding mechanism. So it will call pay method in Bitcoin class. Let's call Bitcoin pay method. Okay. Now we can run the program and see the result. Bitcoin class. Payment by Bitcoin completed. Okay. Now, using the same object, Bitcoin, we will invoke print installment amount method. And remember, this method is not overridden, but overload method. For overload methods, static binding is done at compile time, according to the class type, not according to the object type. So that calling print installment amount method invokes the method in payment class because our reference type is payment here. So in at compile time, since our reference type is payment, our print installment overload method will be called in payment class. So I mean, calling the print installment method here invokes the method in payment class. Let's call print installment and 120 is the argument. And now run the program and see the result. As you see, payment class, installment amount in double, and it is equal to 40. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next lecture.